Hey guys, what's up? My name is Ragnar and welcome to the Gamers Codex. So in today's video we are going to be looking at patch 1.1.2 which will be going live on the 12th of August 2025 if you're watching this in the future. So this is then probably something that has been implemented already, but I thought, hey, let's look at it. And it is a doozy. It's a big one that is coming in. A lot of fixes, a lot of changes. I would say it's mostly just fixes. So let's just get into it quick, and because there's a lot to discuss. So first of all, what they're bringing in is there is colliding ornithopters will now get a impulse applied to separate them. So this will mitigate the grieving done to carrier ornithopters by swarming with multiple ornithopters. So I did see a video once of someone trying to push down an ornithopter, and he did so. The guy landed. The other guy got out, got into his assault, into his carrier ornithopter and flew away. Yes, the guy was hacking, he was cheating. But yeah, this is to kind of prevent them from doing that. Which I haven't seen it myself, but I agree. Okay, fine. Help people from grieving others, that's fine. Another big one is they added a deposit all blood, deposit all water, which some of you guys, if you've been playing the game already, you know that it's such a headache to literally, if you have 5 canisters full of water, you can't just deposit all 5 canisters at the same time. You literally have to stand there, click deposit 50, 100 times just to get rid of all your hard-earned water. But yeah, so they fixed this. This was a big thing that they did address. They did say they're gonna fix this. So let's go down to the highlights. It is now possible to place pillars between walls. I don't know. I didn't build the base. A guildmate did it, so nothing special for me. A new sandbike variant and a new set of desert mechanic decorations. I'm not big on visuals, so this to me is like, okay, I'll check it out, see. Maybe I get it, maybe I don't. Fix a typo on Slaver's stillsuit gloves. Gloves, they are gloves. There you go. If that was bothering you, colliding with the sandworm's body during any of its animations will now result in the destruction of your vehicle or death. I don't know. To me, that was pretty much the case already. Like I've seen a few people just get completely annihilated. One of our guildmates, the sandworm was coming through. He went down too quick to the spice field and he touched the sandworm and his ornithopter exploded with him in it. I have seen other people that were mining and I was protecting my guildmates, so they just came. We allowed them to mine with us. The worm's tail came up, slapped him, he died, and he was actually in the air quite a bit. So that to me was the case anyway. They're just saying like, oh no, we intend to do it that way. Okay, fine. You can now search for items by name in the exchange, and they have categorized them more efficiently to make it easier to find items. That's a big one for me, because I do use the auction house a lot. I did read something that they did it for your inventory as well, maybe. Let's continue and see it. Maybe it is there. The old blood thing, the Solida replicator will now encode placeables and decorations. So basically, if you make a base with a power generated in them with storages, whatever, and then you take the cut out the blueprint, it will actually take the storages with it as well, which is really nice. If you want to make that awesome deep desert base with everything already there, it will be way quicker just to... I wonder if it's going to work with penta shields. I will have a look. Maybe I can pre-build the penta shields and I'll just, go in, put it down, put everything up, and it will take me way less time to do that. That would be nice. So that is a good one. Agree. So the next one, features and changes, technical instability. The unstuck button mechanic was improved. Now there should be fewer cases where the unstuck button might fail to work. That one I've experienced personally, where I think I was stuck in an awkward situation where the unstuck button didn't work. And what I did find, oh no, I was in a cave, and how it was is like you had the entrance, then you had a rock at the bottom and the ceiling in the top and the wall, and it was a little bit of a cutout. So my character was stuck in there, and what it was is it was playing the game thought that I'm on a wall prone. So I was trying to jump up, jump down, do a lot of things, and then when I actually I think I pressed control, my character popped out. So yeah, it was like I was standing and it thought I was climbing on the wall. Anyway, so let's continue. Resources building and crafting. Improve the resources distribution on some Jabal content blocks to prevent very large primrose fields. Okay, nothing special. Okay, that's the same with the Solida. Added 3 new modules to the base management. This is a good one in the way that now from the sub thief you will be able to see your power supply, how much power you're using, your water storage, which is great. You can see your water storage from that. Okay, and then your inventory capacity, which inventory capacity is maybe for a deep desert base that would be nice. Like if you want to know if you have storage left in a deep desert base, but otherwise I think that is irrelevant in a way, because even if it tells you that you have storage, you would still have to find the storage box with the storage. So that's kind of redundant, I think. Maybe, okay, more information is better than not, I guess. It is now possible to place pillars. Pentashield surfaces can now sustain damage just like the corners. Ooh, okay, guys. So if you're a deep desert builder, go out and do it for the next 2 weeks, because the pentashields might be able to be destroyed. Now, I think how it works is when you build a large pentashield, so the pentashield shares its health. Like, if you look here in the game, like, where am I? Okay, so if I go to one of the pentashields, you would see there's a big pentashield. So each block has 3,000 health. Let me just see here. Does it actually tell me? Not that button. Pentashields. So each block has 3,500 health. So if I were to put down a pentashield, that block there has 3,500 health. I can't see it. There we go. So that block has 3,500. Now it has 7,000. Now it has 14,000. So that is kind of how I suspect the pentashields work. So this whole pentashield here probably has, I don't know, 100,000 health. But now at least it is damageable. Yeah, so I'm guessing that's the way it is working. So equipable items taken back from a contract delivery now default to going in the backpack inventory instead of being equipped. Okay. Static compactor, power consumption now scales more linearly per tier. Increased static compactor thread generation. Okay. Nothing that affects me that much. A lot of these changes, by the way, I don't know what they're talking about because I haven't experienced them. But if you do, leave in the comment if they fix something that you have had a hard time with. So I would notice more probably after the release of the patch. Okay, you can now search for items by name in the exchange. The exchange categories have been reorganized to make browsing easier. Increase the amount of scrap metal awarded. Yay! From crashed ornithopters by 20%. Not like that did much. Change the name of the Mola clothing chest. Okay, some easy stuff. Change the crafting recipe for buggy cutaway MK3 just to have. Now you need 10 ray amplifiers, so for you guys that's still at the beginning, there you go, probably an easier one. Actually, the Holtzman actuators you can get from the very first zone. There's a chest in the top right corner of that zone that actually drops the Holtzman actuators. Updated the way items and are categorized in the exchange. Okay, I think this one, and this one are exactly the same. Improved interactions with other players when they are moving. See, stuff like that is something that I would only notice it when it's released. It's not something that I was like, oh man, I wish they changed this. Redistributed flowers, big one. Redistributed flower sand and spice sand fields in Haga to allow the worm to reach them. Now, if you watched one of my videos with the about the flower sand, there is a spot in Haga that you can go with flower sand that there is no worms. So I would suggest go out the next 2 weeks. If you need flower sand, stock up, get 30, 40, 50,000 of the stuff. I usually go out once now and I get 10,000 because that's how much my ornithopter can carry, and I'm done. Okay, added Solari value to liquids held in containers. Okay, so this basically means is like, let's say you have a liter John and it's empty and you sell it to a trader, it gives you 500 Solari, for example. But now they made it so that if there's water in that liter John, you get extra Solari for it because you're selling water, and Arrakis, you know, you need water. Which makes sense. Actually, that's not a bad idea to make some Solari. I'll check out how much money you're getting for every liter or whatever. Increase the range of which corpses can be looted and exsanguinized. Exsanguinated, that a word? Exsanguinated. So to make the experience smoother, so when you're taking the blood out of the corpses, you have, you know, there's a bigger range. Remove Solari from Plastinium tier deep desert loot pools. I don't know what that is. Where if there was Solari from the loot pools, I don't know. I have to check that out. Increase the volume of rockets. So basically they made it that rockets weigh more now. So a stack of rockets will weigh 50 volume. Yeah, that sucks. So 250 rockets. If I look here, you can carry 170, 175 total. So that's if you have nothing. Yeah, you can carry 175. So you'll be able to carry 3.5 stacks of rockets. So yeah, way heavier than before. They also increased the crafting cost for rockets. So one duraluminum. I know it's duraluminum. I have difficulty in saying duraluminum. So that's why I say duraluminum. Duraluminum ingot to from 1 to 4, and 20 fuel cells. So increase cost on rockets. Updated the icon for small, medium. That's a nice one. So now you would know if it's a small, medium, or large from the visuals, which is nice. Now another thing is, and this is important, this is a big one. They made items cost less at the trader. So for example, this week I showed you in the previous video on the you need to hand in spice wine for the Landsrad. Now instead of it costing 4,000 Solari, it will only cost 800. So they dropped a big price on some of the items. Industrial lubricant from 750 to 40. Rockets has been adjusted. So the thing is, they made rockets more to build, but they reduced the price to 200 Solari. I'll just go buy rockets then and sell the duraluminum for on the auction house instead. So spice fuel cell reduced to 200. That is a big one. Okay, so go check that out. If there's anything that there like anti-radiation pros, sometimes there's a Landsrad for that one. Show stats, functionality, and schematics. Okay, this is another big one. So the reason why I went out to get all of the blueprints in the game was to actually see what they do. Yeah, they made it now that before you buy a schematic or before you learn a schematic, you can actually view what it does. So that kind of made my whole blueprint purpose pointless, to see what they do, because now I can just go on the auction house, check what they do, check if I want it or not. Well, for you guys it must be nice. Corrected that okay, this one was I was doing it in the videos. If you watched it about the blueprints, is the Thal Cutteray was in the OO Dome and the Sandflies Carver was in the radiation zone. So, but the Sandflies Carver should be in the OO Dome and the Thal Cutteray should be in the radiation. So they just swapped that, which is simple. Schematics can now display. Okay, that is, they kind of double mentioned things a lot in this, so that's why it probably is so damn long. A new sandbike variant available, a new set of, yeah, okay, we did that. Combat, updated melee animations to have the hand in the right pose. Logging off in a social hub is now instant. Okay, increase the penalty to headshot damage from the center of mass to 25% from 10% at all levels. Techniques. So if you go to center of mass, you have the, which is this one, I believe, center of mass, center of mass. So the headshot was, I can't view the previous, yeah, okay, so it's now minus 25% instead of just 10%. So they changed that for combat. Okay, remove the body damage penalty from marksman technique. What? Where? Okay, so they nerfed center of mass, but they increased marksman. Okay, so now you will have plus 20% on headshots if you get a headshot. If you're a good headshotter, which I'm not, that's why I play center of mass. There you go, they removed the penalty, so get that one, I guess, instead of center of mass. So updated the info card to show that the damage is okay. New down but not out sword execution animation. Polish on heavy attacks dagger animation. Added a new stagger dash tutorial. Okay, so basically the tutorial, they say if you suck so much at the game and you get staggered constantly, and it's happening for 2 minutes where you just keep on getting staggered, there will be a tutorial for you that pops up and say like, hey man, you're getting staggered a lot, I will help you with that. Okay, so for the next one, reduce intensity of suspensor belt effects, polish the dagger sprint attack animation. While in stamina regen, block both lower and left middle screen stamina icons, which I don't know what most of these is. Improved responsiveness for MP. Okay, this is another one for the testing station. Sometimes when you do the rounds in the testing station, well, actually always, it's not just sometimes, you kill a round, then you wait sometimes 10-20 seconds for the new round to appear. So this will basically just have the NPCs pop out faster so that you can do the testing station faster, so that you can get out of there as soon as possible, because people might come and kill you. PvP respawn token timer will only count down when the player is alive. Okay. PvP respawn timer will now work in Haga Basin. Okay. Added a new visual indicator to show the stamina regeneration is blocked. Sometimes when I'm running through Imperial testing stations doing my blueprint hunts, my stamina will just not replenish itself. So I tend to like take out a weapon, put it back in, or do something for my weapon, for my stamina to come back. Okay, vehicles, big changes on vehicles. Colliding ornithopters. Okay, so colliding ornithopters just get knocked back. That's the thing that I mentioned up. Okay, my sandbike engine now produces more heat. Not. What happens with the balancing changes? So the half the light ornithopter scanner duration deterioration rate. So if you go into the deep desert and you do scanning, you know your scanner can break after about 30 scans. That is a big one that they had to address. Also the wings deteriorate less, so halved it. So that is really nice. So you can go into the deep desert, fly your scout without having to worry about the wings. Reduce the medium ornithopter wing deterioration, so the assault deterioration rate by 30%. Increase transport ornithopter dragonfly speed by 20%. Half transport ornithopter generator heat buildup speed. Increased overall boost power by 10%. So now your scouts are even gonna go faster with a booster on it. So also, I would say now I'm gonna probably fly the assault, because you can have rockets and you can have a booster. So if you're telling me that it's 10% faster than that, that is an extra 15 speed on an assault, which, you know, it makes an assault faster than a scout in combat. Slightly increased boost speed while vulture mode is for transport. Okay, so the PSU generator tier upgrades now has more noticeable effects. Assault and carrier ornithopters. Okay, assault and carrier ornithopters have had their booster thrusters updated, allowing them to boost to increase the max vulture speed. So what that means is, so they already did the scout to do this. There's my scout. So this is going to be a long video, so just bear with me. So before, when you go into vulture mode, let's see, you go into vulture mode. My wings are still out, so it's glitchy. So I'm just going to go up. If you go into vulture mode, and you boost, your speed wouldn't have increased. It would have actually decreased to 140. That's why boosters were only used to get you to max speed, but then they changed it so that even if you boost in vulture mode, your speed is increasing. And they didn't do that with the assault and with the carrier. So if I go now, I get into my assault, which has a booster on it. Let me just get it. You'll see how my speed decreases with a booster on it, which just doesn't make any sense. So if I boost up, let me just get rid. I'm doing 160. If I'm going straight, I'm doing 150. Let me go into vulture mode. So now I'm doing 166. If I activate my booster, that should go down. Ah, well, if I go up, look at that. It doesn't increase my speed. So it doesn't do anything. So if I'm in vulture mode, it just makes... It doesn't do anything now. It's like I'm still gliding. It keeps my speed at a constant 130 when I'm looking up. But it should do like what you saw with the... see, yeah, my speed stays the same. With the scout is like, if once you activate your boosters, you go super fast, and it seems to not happen with the assault. It doesn't have any effect. It does make you get to your top speed faster, but that's all it does. So to continue, so that's a nice change with that. The carrier ornithopter increased thruster boost now also the... Okay, so they're adding a button, I guess, to the scout, to the carrier ornithopter, where you can jettison your sandcrawler, leave it behind, get out of there. So, which is nice. Okay, cameras polish, improved logic of how vehicles are positioned after travel. Okay, so if you go to the map and you load into the deep desert, this helps not to mesh. Like if you're spawning two guys at the same time, now it will try and put your ornithopters in different locations, probably, that's so it's easier to enter. Increase the time before abandoned vehicles attract a worm. Okay. World building and exploration. Botanical testing station 2. Okay, and encounter doors reactivated. Colliding with the sandworm body. Okay, that one we read already. Deep desert and lands rat added additional lands to fight over and claim for more bases, with more resources being generated. That one I'll have to see what's gonna happen. Is that in the PvP side? Are they adding more islands with Stravidium and Titanium? We're gonna have to watch and see what that means exactly. Landsrat houses may now require Solari to be delivered. I don't know what that is. Is it like, is that a Landsrat? Meaning that they will actually have like, you know, deliver 50,000 Solari and you will get Solari Syndicate Helm and that stuff? Or does it mean that, because to unlock these, sometimes you can pay 300 spice melange to unlock the Landsrat for your faction. I think it might mean that you can just deliver Solari to them. I will have to wait and see what that means exactly. So yeah, that's an interesting one. Sandworms in the deep desert now have the 50% chance to do the short animation. So if in Haga, if you've noticed, like the sandworm has two type of animations where it comes out quickly and dips back down. So they've extended it to the deep desert now. The Communet warnings, okay, with that's just about the Coriolis storm. Nothing to be really excited about, or whatever. Added a search bar to all crafting and fabricators menus. That is so nice with the interface, because what they do sometimes is, if I want to do this, I'm looking for welding wire, right? Now I have to do this. If you don't know where it is, so if I go to one of my crafting bay with the welding wire, I have to, like, if I had a search bar, I would just type it in, but no, I have to sometimes go through them because if I don't remember, but then I have to go down all the way and there's the welding wire. So that search bar will be highly appreciated, and a good thing that they can implement. Okay, deposit all water, all blood. Added improved support for PlayStation 5 controller. I don't use that. Updated the social button to become a wedge. So that is something like if you open your inventory menu, it will be like a button that you can click that slides open like a wedge. Added a new setting for toggling ADS and toggling binocular. Okay, so this is basically what it means is that like you have with your light button is like being O, right? You have a light button that is O. So of course you can't see that there is a inventory button for 0. Okay, it's not O, sorry, it's 0. And now they made it that if you, instead of having binoculars in your loadout, you will just, you press B and then you have your binoculars or whatever the case may be. That is for binoculars. Okay. Anyway, let's have a look and see what they do with that. Added a checkbox to hide completed entries in the contract and journeys. Added a missing preview. Added new power, water and storage to the sub thief. Added keybind entries to revive and surrender for down but not out. Added keybinds, entry changing building set. This is a nice one. So when you're building and you want to go from the Harkonnen to the Atreides, or from the Atreides build set to the to building a generator, you can actually have keybinds for that. Added controller prompt. The server restore notification will now remain on screen for the full remainder. Yeah, that is nice. Once we had a 1 minute notification for server shutdown and it just shut down. Like, luckily we were all in safe areas. Interaction to pick up body is now tap instead of, okay, that is for the controller. Updated thirst notifications. Updated visuals for service pop-up menus. Updated Lancer control point HUD UI. Fixed initialization of input audio devices. Faction vendors will now display their items faction banner rather than the player's aligned faction banner. Okay. Added missing taxi service icons to the map. In the legend. So it's when you go through the map and you filter out some points. So they added the taxi service icon as well, I believe. In the map, change the shortcut toggle to G, something like when you're toggling those filters. Unified label for sandbike across the game so it's consistent. Unified terminology for wayfinding prompts. Visual improvements for blood extraction crosshair. Minor visual update for target. Updating text for several. Updated some in-game text notifications. Updated, like reading all of this. Updated the icon for the buggy Cutray MK3. I actually wanted to check this out to see what this means. Like if you go to research buggy, I don't see anything. Maybe it is different when you build it. Maybe. I don't see anything. Anyway, so proximity chat, some markers for proximity chat. Several external ACPU links are now open in Steam's overlay while playing the full screen mode. Storm warning HUD visuals updated from white to sand. So a lot of things that is a little bit meh, like okay, minor spice of life, slice of life changes. Updated climbing animation to better match the speed of climbing. Added an updated another batch of animations. New cloth simulation paths for various outfits in the cinematics. Flower sand field should look more organic. Made some changes to the flower sand field to bring it in line with the spice harvesting in terms of static compactor. Okay, just very nice. For the audio, the only thing that I've noticed that is nice is new sounds for rocket fire. Nice. Okay, is that they reduced the lowered the Orny engine sound. Like, oh my goodness. After the last patch, I don't know what they did, but the assault ornithopter will just blow your headphones up. Like, it was so loud and irritating that it just was crazy. So then you have a bunch of fixes that they did. I'm not gonna go through all of them because you can see what fixes they went through. Like, there are so many, otherwise I will have to sit here for another hour and a half explaining all of these things to you, but you guys get the point of where they're heading, how much fixing they have to do. Where's the fixes again? Yeah, so you have technical and stability, resource building and crafting, economy, combat, so many fixes, increased power regeneration, health regeneration, and there is so many things that even if I read through all of them, maybe I'll find one or two that is okay, and then some are just like I will experience them after the patch have launched, and it will just, you know, because basically what they're doing is like they said they're giving this, and all of the fixes is just to build that, and so when I experience it, I will be like, okay, so now it's smoother, now it's nicer, now less problems happen. The story, no new story, they're fixing cutscenes, fixing quests, a lot of things like that. Interface, a lot of things as well with the interface, with text and stuff. There is one that they actually put in the same thing twice under each other, which was kind of funny because they were talking about fixing text. So yeah, okay, I'm not gonna try and find it for you guys now because it takes time. So I just wanted to show you show off what this patch is, and it's coming in 2 weeks. So get all your farming done, all the the glitchiness, if you want to take advantage of it. Get the pentashields down, go mining in the deep desert before they possibly fix all of that stuff, so that you can get ahead while you still can. So I'm gonna be out farming and getting the stuff, and yeah, that's it for me, guys. And I guess I'll see you guys in the next one. Have a great day. Bye.